Hello and welcome to MGP420. I'm Kevin. With me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
And I don't understand this lot trying to explain to me that 420 is significant for some reason, and I don't get it because I'm old.
Yeah.
Why did everyone giggle when I was told it was episode 420 before we started the show?
It's just a reference Kevin wouldn't understand.
Yeah, you're too old man. But, I mean, it does make me think we all, collectively, the listeners, us, all need to tweet Snoop Dogg to say, can you share our episode 420, please, Mr. Dog? I was supposed to get him on the show.
By Mr. Dog?
I don't know. I don't know him personally.
Is he your brother? Are you the Dog brothers?
Well, my big plan 20 episodes ago when I thought of it was I'm gonna get in touch with his people. He's on the Just Eat adverts. Maybe he'll come on MGP for episode 420 to talk about games. But I completely forgot. But here we are. So
I mean, if it's not too late to give him a bell now. If you want, we'll wait.
I mean, I'll tweet him
if you want to try. Tweet him now. If he wants to jump in partway through, we're not going to restart the episode for him. But if he wants to jump in partway through, we'll let him in.
Right, so keep listening, folks. You never know.
Yeah, this is episode 420, maybe, probably even, featuring Snoop Dogg. Just keep listening. He's coming up later in the show. That's maybe. Probably. He might be. How are we all anyway?
You know how he does that Just Eat thing, right?
Yeah.
He does them... No, Snoop Dogg does that Just Eat. You know, in other countries, that's not called Just Eat. It's called menu log. It's very bizarre.
So does he go to somebody just say menu log?
Yeah. I saw it on TikTok. I was like, that's weird. That doesn't make sense. Menu log. Like,
Where are you lot seeing adverts? I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you watching to still be seeing adverts in 2021?
I was on Reddit and someone was complaining about some stupid advert, and I thought yesterday, I've not seen an advert in bloody ages. So, yeah, it's not me. I've seen the Just Eat one a long time ago, probably during the football, actually.
Probably at a family reunion when the dogs got together.
Yeah, maybe he told me about it. Maybe it was in the family newsletter, you're right. But I hope he won't be offended that I've stolen half of his name as my name. I'm riding on his coattails. Maybe that's we talked to Anna about SEO beforehand, weren't we? Maybe that's what I was thinking when I come up with that. Not that I did. A vicar named me that. Maybe that's how he got the name. Maybe a vicar called him Snoop Dogg because he was snooping around the church.
Maybe that's the same vicar who gave Snoop Dogg his name. Perhaps he just works through all the potential dog combinations. Although why he would go Snoop before sheep is a little bit of it's a little bit weird. I would probably go sheep. Sheep would be one of my first 5 dog associations, I think. Snoop's a bit of a stretch.
Maybe the priest was high.
I don't understand why that would be relevant.
Well, Snoop Dogg's known for partaking, isn't he? And yeah.
He's what? He's not welcome on the podcast anymore then.
Oh, he just said he was coming on.
No, he's banned. Not even any rascals on here. He is banned. That's it. Forget it. He had his chance and he's blown it. Apparently he partakes.
I've told him not to come on.
Yeah. Tell him he's not welcome here.
He's cancelled. He's cancelled.
There you go. Snoop Dogg. In fact, I'm not even going to say his name anymore. That man, not welcome here. He's done.
Do tweet him and say, Mr. Dog, please retweet episode 420, Mature Gamer Podcast. I think
we hear you were going to be on it, but then you got banned at the last minute. Don't tweet at him asking to retweet it. Tweet at him saying, I just wondered what your thoughts were about not being allowed on this podcast.
Why is he not allowed? Oh, I missed that.
Because he partakes, Anna. He partakes.
You know.
What does he partake in, Kevin?
He's a rascal.
He partakes.
So, how are we all on this fine week, anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I've you have your drink reminder thing on your streams to remind you to hydrate. I think I need to set that
which
up.
I stole off of Pab. That was completely Pab's thing that I stole.
Okay, Pab, then well done.
Welcome.
I need that in life, I think, because I've realised I'm not drinking enough, and it sent me properly loopy. I've caused so many problems today alone. I woke up.
Your drinking's been causing problems for years,
Yeah, but
Sheepdog.
not alcohol, just water. I was asking my sons to get ready for school, and Claire was like, "What are you on about? They're eating eating breakfast. Like, what? You're there going, get ready," and they're sat at a table eating. And then I told my son we found out what school he goes to today. But the way I worded it, he went and asked if he was going to school, full stop. And my wife went, no. And then he ran upstairs crying because he thought he didn't get into primary school because it was the day that we found out.
Mean.
And I was just like, how am I going to do this? And then my daughter was getting some water out the fridge. And I started lecturing her on not getting water out of the fridge because that's for the ice and all of this. I was proper going into it. And my whole family were just standing there watching, like, what on earth? And
what do you mean the water in the fridge is for the ice?
None of them understood what the hell I meant. And then, like, 20 minutes later, my wife was cleaning out our massive, like, 8-litre bucket that we put water in to keep it cold. And I was like, I forgot we had that. I thought she'd gone into the ice thing to get water. And was just like, what? I'm there lecturing her at the door, but the door was like, I was the other side of it, and I was properly going like, why did you think that was the right thing to do? Like, you don't just get it from there, get it from the bloody, what are you doing? And she's looking at me like, you are mental. And then when Mrs. Sheepdog just was, I might as well clean it out while we're here. I had to go apologise. I was like, I don't know, I forgot we owned it. I was the one that bought it. I was the one that set it up. It's been there for like a year, and I've just forgotten.
So you haven't had a glass of water for a year?
Well, no, I've been using this other jug, but when the jug's empty, I don't have any water. It's empty, so I don't use it. But it's empty because the rest of the family have been using it. Well, I do, but that's the point. I don't refill it because no one else uses it. They all use the one in the fridge that I've forgotten exists. So when it's empty, I'm like, I can't be bothered. So I just sit there.
What, so you have a separate idiot's jug that's at room temperature?
Well, yeah, but I have an ice machine, so I'm getting room temperature water and ice and putting them together. Whereas the rest of my family are getting cold water and ice and having a super cold drink. Although I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so all three of them, I've just completely ruined them today over really mental things. And it turned out, I suddenly thought, there was an article that just said, if you're feeling really odd, are you drinking enough? And then I said to Mrs. Sheepdog, what time did you make that cup of tea? And she was like, it was like, 11 o'clock, and it was like 7:30, and I was like, I've not drank since then. And she was like, you need to have a drink. And so since I've had 3 pints of orange juice, I feel a bit more human. But I'm pretty sure that cup of tea was the first drink I'd had since the night before.
Don't drink too much water though, it could mess with your salt.
Yeah, that might be what's happening now because I do feel a bit off. But anyway, I need some sort of reminder. I need that constant Twitch hydration reminder through life. I need to get an app or something.
It's another reason to get an Apple Watch. It reminds me to stand up. It reminds me to have a drink of water.
It's ludicrous. Thing. I mean, I've realised the only reason that this didn't happen a year ago was because my colleagues would always make me coffee. And they learned that I didn't mind if they randomly told me to do it because I'd be like, yeah, I probably owe you one. But they used to just bring me coffee all the time. I'd drink like 8 pints of coffee a day. It was very unhealthy.
That seems completely reasonable and normal.
Yeah, and I'd be jittering all the time. But
jittering's natural and wonderful.
But since been working from home, it's like Mrs. Sheepdog might make me a couple while she's in and out between all the hard work she's doing. And God, if she went back to work full time, I'd probably just wither away. I'm establishing
through lack of coffee.
Through lack of hydration at all. I need to get a buzzer or something.
You need to get a coffee machine on your desk. That's the answer.
Yeah, but I wouldn't fill it up. I'd make coffee with it on the first day, and then I'd be like, it's empty now.
The headaches make me fill up and go up the stairs to get more coffee. That's basically my reason to get out of my chair and do some exercise. My cup is empty. I need to go and fetch more coffee, so I have to go upstairs to the coffee machine.
I need to start doing that. I've worked out. I'm on the Pokemon Go mission task thing where you got to do 151 kilometers to part of getting the shiny Mew. I've been on it over a week and I've only done 17 kilometers, and I'm like, I really need to go out walking or something and do more trips to the bloody sink and stuff like that. It would go up more, but yeah, everyone else I know is just smashing through that, and I've done nothing because I'm just working from home, going to get the kids from school.
Yeah, so you done 17 kilometers and they were all driven.
No, they were all walking up the school drive because it doesn't count when you drive, unfortunately. Otherwise, I think I would have done it by now. Because
what if you were to drive a Flintstones car?
That would be awesome. That might be the answer.
See, I'm the answer man.
You are the answer man. We could probably get away with marketing that as the fitness solution to save the world. The Flintstones car, like
Now there's electric bikes and electric scooters and all that kind of stuff. It's the next logical step. Cars that your feet hang out the bottom of.
Yeah, you could just run every now and again. Yeah,
Flintstones.
That's why you call it the Flintstone car. Yeah,
we can't market it as the Flintstone car though, because someone else owns Flintstones. We'll have a catchy name like Cars with a Hole in the Bottom, or something even catchier than that.
We just call it the Bedrock Mobile.
Really angry with your legs? Here's an easy way to break them.
Well, no, we could make it the floor closes.
Love sitting down.
Oh, I love sitting down.
There you go. You need one of these cars, then you'll never have to stand up. Because your legs will be ripped off in the first journey that you have. I don't think in practice a Flintstones car is a very good idea.
Well, I don't think they were getting up to speeds of 60 miles an hour. I think they were getting up to...
Perhaps that's the thing. Perhaps we don't run with it. Perhaps we just use our feet as the brakes. You're going along at 70 miles an hour and just push your feet into the floor to stop.
That would solve a lot of dry feet as well, wouldn't it? You wouldn't have to buy foot files. We'd destroy the pumice industry.
Imagine how cross the world's mums would be about ruining your shoes. It's like when you don't use the brakes on your bike. Stop doing that! You'll ruin your shoes.
Yeah, that's all I ever heard from my mum about my brothers.
But
Stop using feet.
You could tweak it for small journeys. I'm only going sort of 3 miles to get the kids from school. So if I just had to run it at 20 mile an hour, where I run it to, not that I'm going to run 20 mile an hour, but I run it up to 5 mile an hour, and then I jump, and it carries on under the momentum.
What you could do, if you're only going 3 miles, you should just cycle and put a wagon on the back of your bike and just put the kids in that and cycle back again.
I mean,
There's your solution.
If I wasn't picking them up in my lunch break at the moment, that would be a good solution. I don't think I get there and back in my lunch hour. I barely do it in the car because they faff. But yeah, if I was picking them up after work, I could do that. I wouldn't. It would kill me, but it would be a healthy solution.
What, dying?
Well, for normal people is what I meant. Maybe if I drink enough water, I'll have the energy.
Normal people don't need the healthy solutions. That's the problem. All the healthy solutions only help the people who are already healthy. We need healthy solutions for fat people. That's going to be my platform that I run on when I try and get into office.
I think step one for me is just trying to drink enough water that I might start feeling more human. I might suddenly stop doing such stupid things, and I think that's probably the thing all along, that I've just not...
Try to drink enough water that you remember there's water in the fridge.
Well, that's the thing as well.
That would be a nice first step.
That's so close to where I'm sitting that it would have solved a lot of problems. I mean, I could just run a hose from that to me and just drink from it with a long straw.
I do like the idea of you just having a hose hooked up to your tap that you just drink from throughout the day. One of those hoses with the trigger on for when you like a jet washer. Man. Just have that sat on the desk next to you every time you're thirsty. Just jet wash into your mouth.
Do garden
It'd be
taps?
Perfect.
Do garden taps take from the mains? Because I've already got one of them in the garden.
Yeah,
might just do that.
Problem solved.
You're a very clever man. You invented the Flintstones car and the permanent, never-ending straw.
Exactly, and these things come in threes as well, so I'm bound to have a third really good idea at some point during this podcast. But I guess at this point we should probably talk about some video games, because we touched on Pokemon Go almost, but then quickly got back round to the important issues of the day, like solving Sheepdog's thirst using a hose pipe. So, for me, video games-wise this week, guess what? Not really played any. So I'm just going to pass on to you. I'll tell you what, something that is loosely video games related, I have got a new toy. I've got a new capture card for my PC that allows me to plug lots of cameras and stuff into it. It's really cool. If anyone's in the market for a capture card and you want to be able to plug a console or a PC and a camera in using a capture card, rather than buying 2 capture cards like I had previously, for the price of less than 2 individual capture cards, you can now buy a Elgato Camlink Pro, which then allows you to plug 4 things into your PC. They're £300, but like I say, that's less than buying 2 of the standalone capture cards. And you can plug 4 things in. So you can have your PC, your PlayStation, your Xbox, and a face cam all plugged in to this same thing going into your PC, and just switch between all of them, or in theory have them all on screen at the same time. If you wanted to do a direct comparison between Xbox and PlayStation playing the same game, you could put them side by side on screen using your fancy capture card, and it'd be magical. Just magical. Really
cool. You just said about having the console and the camera. As somebody who's planning on doing that scenario and has only got a normal capture card, do I not just plug my... Are you talking about if you wanted 2 cameras, almost, like your webcam and another one?
Well, it depends if you're using a proper camera or a webcam. If you're using a webcam that just goes in by USB, then you don't need a capture card.
Right, cool, okay.
those of us who are snazzy sunglasses wearers have real cameras plugged in via capture cards. And we are that cool.
Or is it because you've got about 4 of them?
7, actually.
But does that mean then, if I ever wanted to buy a better camera, I'd have to buy a second capture card because mine's only got one?
Well, if you wanted to have like a DSLR for your face cam, what people would do, so normally is just buy an Elgato Cam Link, which is like 80 quid, and just goes through, has the camera going into this thing and then into USB and into your computer. But the idea of this new bit of kit is it has 4 of them built into it together, so you don't have to have the separate bits of kit. I wouldn't necessarily recommend anyone who's just starting out go out and buy a capture card with 4 inputs. It's a bit overkill, but this kind of stuff, up until this point, it's been like 700-800 quid to buy a 4-input capture card. So it's unusual for Elgato. They've brought something out that kind of already exists, but rather than putting a premium price on it, they've done it cheaper than anyone else was, and actually made it a sensible purchase because it's cheaper than 2 standalone cards.
It's cool.
And that's as close to gaming as I can get this week. So that was very loose.
Well, you have been playing FM a lot. You've been ill as well.
I do play. And I'm doing a subathon right now. As this podcast comes out, we should have led with this. Cancel that Snoop Dogg trash. This should have been how we opened the show. I've been live for 16 minutes at this point. Twitch.tv/Lelujo. I'm hopefully going to be streaming all day. You should come over there and come and hang out with me. We're going to have a jolly good time. I don't usually stream during the day. I've been showing off with my 7 o'clock starts this week, so I've had the blinds open, and we have this thing that's new to the stream after 5 years called sunlight. We've never had this in streams before, but it creates this weird halo behind the back of my head that slowly disappears over the first half hour or so of the stream. But it's going to be there all day today, so you can come along and see me properly illuminated rather than trying to create my sexy mood lighting like I normally do. You better see my actual skin rather than my studio lit pretend skin that you see at the moment. You better see that I actually do have some wrinkles and some grey hairs. Can you believe it?
I don't believe it.
Can you believe it? You shouldn't believe it. You know it's not true. But I'm trying to act humble to get people to come in and watch the stream at twitch.tv/Lelujo all day today, hopefully. If people subscribe. Subathon! Yay!
Well, I'm glad I gave you an excuse to shoehorn that in. I have mainly... I mean, I'm not going to start with the main game I've been playing, actually. I'm going to start with the fact that bloody Adopt Me on Roblox has taken over my frigging house again because they've announced their Sea Creature event, and my kids went nuts. So if your kids are remotely likely to be susceptible to this, divert their attention if it annoys you, or push them towards it if you want them to play it. But that's been dominating my frigging house all day today. And apparently they had like an Easter event like a week ago, so it's as bad as Pokemon Go for just constant events that send my kids wild. I did touch on that as well, that I've been playing the Mew quests and Pokemon Go and all of that. Usual stuff with me on that, of course. And then the main thing I have been playing excessively lately is obviously XCOM Enemy Unknown. I've been streaming that, as I mentioned last week, I think. I am bloody loving this series. Like, I already knew I liked XCOM from playing this and XCOM 2 briefly, but I never completed any of them.
Did you play the other one? The one that's... It's like a... It's not like that way. It's like an adventure game kind of thing.
I knew... Someone told me that, because I did know this, but I hadn't really spoken to anyone about it before. Someone was telling me that it's based on a much older game. But so I was going to ask you, actually, there's Enemy Within, and I don't know whether that's a different style of game or if that's just an add-on. Because basically, I made a bit of a fatal mistake this week in that I was gearing up for the end of the game. So I got one criticism about this being an older game. It doesn't tell you anything, right? So you find that you steal this device from the aliens, and you figure out that it might help you get onto their mothership. But you also figure out you probably need someone with psychic abilities. So you have to build a lab to test everyone and see whether they've got the genes that make them psychic. So I got some psychic people, but then I was told I had to get someone who was extra special to be able to access this device to get on the ship. So because I thought it was going to be really boring on the stream if I just sat there running 10 days at a time in the game trying to find someone, I just started save scumming it. I just kept doing the test over and over again. I did this like 6 times before realising that all I had to do was put a vest on one of them, and then he was able to do it. And so, but the game didn't tell me that. The game didn't say, build this vest, put it on the guy, and it'll work. The game was just like, keep trying to find him, keep trying to find him. And a friend of mine said that he played this game for like several hundred hours because he kept trying to find the right person. And then when he Googled it, it was just like, oh yeah, you put the vest on him. He was like, he'd put so much time into it. His whole squad were all like elite colonels and everything. And then it was just, I'll put the vest on them and they're fine. So yeah, there's a few little holes like that. I've discovered yesterday that I could have been saving during the missions as well as between missions, and I didn't know. So when I play the final boss over the weekend, I could save halfway through, and then if I die, I could just, keep starting from there. So that's made a difference. But once I've learned these little things through having to go out into the world and figure it out, I'm loving it. It's a great story. I don't know. I wanted to know whether Enemy Within was like a DLC that continues the story of the first game, or whether it's a completely different story, or like like some DLC set before the end of the game. That always bothers me because it's like, well, why would I want to play that after the fact? Why would I want to go and pretend I didn't know how this resolved? But
I think it's DLC because the thing I was on about was the Bureau, the XCOM Declassified, which
is that like an FPS?
It's a tactical third-person shooter video game, but it's to do with like XCOM series. I remember playing it.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah,
that
I do.
familiar.
Because it looks a bit like, I've just quickly, because I thought it was Enemy Within, so I quickly Googled it, and it looks like all that add-on does is add gameplay elements, which is a shame, because, if I could have got an extra, 10 hours, 6 hours worth of content out of playing an add-on, that would have been really fun, because I keep thinking this would make a fantastic TV show. Like, it really would be an awesome show if I could just do this story. So what I did is I once I figured out this vest thing, I was meant to be finishing at 11, and it was like 10:30, and I thought, we might as well just start it. I'll probably die straight away anyway. So I started the mission, and then it come around to 11, and I was like, well, we've been playing for half an hour. We can't be far from the end boss. And then it was 11:30, and I was like, we must be near the boss now. And Claire's texting me going, where the can I come to bed yet? Why are you still playing? You told me you'd be done at 11. And it was like 11:45, and I got to the final boss, and it just killed me immediately. Like, we got all the way there, and then it just mind-controlled 3 of my guys, and then they turned and shot my other 2 guys that were left, and I was out. It was game over. And I just was like, I've made people sit here for over an hour, and I've just died immediately the moment we got to the end. So, yeah, I spent tonight levelling up, making sure that they can't mind-control me next time. Apparently there's, again, stuff that the game didn't tell me. Anyone with that gene can't be mind controlled. Apparently mind control only lasts for 3 goes as well. So if I'd have known that, I could have ran away from the mind control people and would have been fine. But lots of people have been chipping in with a bit of advice and that kind of thing. And now I know I can save it as well. I can get to that. If I can get to that corridor with a full squad that's all alive, then I'll just save there, and I'll just keep redoing the end boss and just see what happens. It'll be a much more smooth stream. It'll be more, I could just do it until I do it, and yeah, I'm happy with that. So I reckon I'll have that completed Sunday, and then I'm looking for what to do next. I'm kind of thinking, do I do XCOM 2 straight off the bat, see if that works on the laptop? Is there any decent old game that I might have forgotten about on Steam that I own? Or I'm just looking for ideas at this point, because the PC still hasn't arrived for, God, everyone wants to know that. It's quite sweet. Everyone's like, is any news on the PC, Sheepdog? And I'm like, no, nothing yet. And I'm 38 days in now, according to the site. 38 working days I've been waiting for this computer. So
that's long.
Including the weekends, it's very, very long, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I promised I messaged the account manager at PC Specialist saying, can you just let me know where I am in the queue and like what the score is and all of this? And he was like, yeah, here you are. And at the time I said to him, look, I'm not going to come back and ask you again in a few weeks. I'm just going to accept that you can't control anything. There's nothing you can do about this. And now I'm twitching away thinking to myself, I really want to email him and go, where the hell's my computer? I ended up just tweeting at PC Specialist earlier, going, do I have to sacrifice a goat? Like, what do I need to do to get this device from you? But I know it's purely that the kit is just so rare that, you know, they're getting shipments here and there, drip, drip, drip. And I just need to hope.
I still don't understand why that goat was wearing underpants.
Because it was indoors.
Mm.
Yeah, it was just, you know, goat nappies, isn't it? He's just a kid, Kev.
If goat nappies are a thing, then there's really no reason for Anna to not let me have one.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
There's no reason for you to not have a goat, Kev. I mean...
I don't want to change his nappies, he'll just have to wear the same one.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, they're like recycling machines, aren't they? He'll just eat the nappy and then poop out a new one.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That's what I trained my kids to do.
Yeah. But yeah, that I can't. What else? I don't think I played anything else off the top of my head. I'm trying to think now. I have a very bad trouble of remembering 3 games I've played after the podcast, and I'm really trying to get better at making notes. But if I remember later in the show, I'll interrupt someone rudely.
Oh, we look forward to that.
But yeah, no, that is my week, I believe.
Well, before we move on to what these other 2 whippersnappers have been playing, I think Pab should probably insert an advert here. It just feels like the right opportunity for an advert, Pab. I don't know how you feel about it. I think now's a good time.
Okay.
Oh, that was a sensational advert. Thank you, Pab. I enjoyed that one. In fact, let's celebrate the advert we just had by one of you 2 telling us what games you've played this week. Whoever speaks first, go.
Okay.
Anna, you're up. That was speaking. That counts.
What have I been doing? So I've been playing some more Shadow of War. I think that's what it's called. Let me just check because I always forget. Let's have a look. Yep, Shadow of War, the Middle Earth thing. I'm just going around killing all the chiefs and just because I like going around like. There's like I think they're called like worms, and you interrogate them, and then they tell you like the weaknesses. And I like finding the ones that are mortally injured by stealth, so I can like go above them and jump on them and die, and that's fun to do. So I've been playing a bit more of that, just going through it. It's a big game. It's a bigger game than you think it is, because at first you're just like in these 2 sections of the world, and then it keeps expanding. It's like it's massive. I didn't think it was that big. I'm only like 30% through the game, and it's just like there's so many different areas. So that's cool. So I'm just doing that, and then today I played a bit more of Days Gone because like I'm just going through the bits that I've played before to get to the bits that I haven't played before. But oh my god, I was riding my bike and ran into one of the hordes, and I needed to put the controller down and went, nope. I hate them. I hate that because they make there's like a noise that's associated with them, and it's just like, no thank you. I don't want that to happen. But yeah, I'm just, because it's on PlayStation Plus at the moment, so like you can play it if you've never played it before. But if you like motorbikes and zombies and like an apocalypse and just going around doing bits and bobs. I don't know what to like put it to. You know, like The Last of Us. Mm-hmm. It's like not quite the story and the polish of that. It's just like they made this and then they made Last of Us because they were like going on. So it's a bit naff in places. It's a bit, and some of it is a bit jarring. Like you'll get a radio broadcast come over and you'll listen to it, and then your character will start like screaming at the person on the radio, like proper shouting. I'm like, this man can't hear you. Why are you shouting? It's very jarring and very weird, but it's a fun game. It tries to take itself too seriously. I can't because it's just a bit. The actor's just a bit naff, I think. Yeah. And then, just for the past hour or so, I put Outriders on to see if it would actually work. And I finally got online, because like you can't even, like before you couldn't even get past the loadings, the sign-in screen. It would just say loading, logging in. I finally got past that, and I've just been playing some bits online. I now have 2 purple weapons, so yay. Like one of them was like for an act, like you get it because you've done a mission, and another one I found just going around in the world. But because I was with other people, they had put the world up to like level 6, like world tier 6. So the higher the world tier, the better loot you get. But like I've never gone above 2, because you go
6?
up and it's we were on 6 because there was like 2 of it. Yeah, it was mental. Like they were bullet sponges. Like you would, like what I would be hitting in World Tier 2 on my own would go down pretty easy. But when they're in 6, they're like coming at you and they're not stopping, and it's like, oh god, just slow down a little bit. But it's just been playing bits and bobs that I haven't progressed in the story, because I like to go into other people's games. I like to get loot and level up, and then go on to, like I do with all games. I like to be a bit higher of a level than like base level, because I hate that. But that was it. I was really excited that not next week, the week after, that the Wrath of the Druids was coming out for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but now that's been put back again till like the middle of May. So I'm sad about that, because I was really looking forward to doing my my nights that are coming up, and then playing that on rest week. But it's not going to happen, so never mind. But that's it. I've not really done anything else because I've been sleeping a lot, because I've been tired.
Fair enough.
She does like sleeping at the moment.
I do really like sleeping.
I think you've all been under the weather, though, haven't you? I think you're recovering.
I just like to
I've
sleep.
been desperately poorly, definitely. Desperately poorly.
And Kevin likes to keep me up with his
I bet he does.
annoying, sweating when he's not very well.
I do a lot of annoying sweating.
Yes.
Even when I'm well, even when I'm fine. So, Pab,
Yes.
over to you then, sir.
Okay, so what have I played? Not a great deal. I mean, like, what have I made? What have I played even?
You completed a game, didn't you?
I did complete a game today, in fact. I finished Hitman 3 finally. So we picked up Hitman again after a little kind of week or so break. And I think where I left off, I was on like the second to last level, was it? No, third to last level, I think. And I think it was the one in China. I think it was. And it's a maze of a level it was, and I think I remember rightly, I spent like 1.5 streams trying to complete that level. I felt confident that I could do a level a stream at least, and I just couldn't get to grips with what I needed to do. And it's just an absolute maze of a level. It's not a huge map, but it's like it's tall. There's many layers to the level. There's like an underground level. There's like different buildings that have multiple levels, and yeah, it was just complex. I then did the second to last level was in a winery, and I came so close to squashing a woman in the giant grape crusher. So close. I just didn't have the key to override the machine. Oh, we're having some. There was like a prompt to have pictures taken in the crusher, and then there was a big thing like, oh, you can just literally step away at any point, and she just stays there. Your target just stands there in the crusher, like, well, I'm scrambling to push that button so fast, and it didn't happen. So I had to settle for just like bashing her on the back of the head and chucking her in one of the coolers. How you do it. Yeah, that game is excellent. People don't like the last level. People hated the last level, in fact. Because the last level is all scripted, all kind of sequenced on a train. It's not a traditional Hitman level where you just have a big open world and you just kind of get on with what you want to do. It is pretty much you are on a train and you are trying to get to like your target on that train, and it is pretty much just like a train full of baddies, and you just kill every single one of them on that train. You just walk through, blasting every single one. You don't have to blast them, every single one of them, but I did because you got points for killing all the baddies. So I didn't treat that as the last level. For me, the last level was the one at the winery. For me, it felt like an epilogue to the story because it is all story. It's all story. This level. It's all about getting to the constant, and yeah, that's the point of that level. It's all very, like I say, scripted and designed specifically for this. It's not really designed the way other Hitman levels, and people have hated it. People did hate it the way, but like I said, if you treat it as what it is, an end to the story, and it is an end to the story sort of thing. It is part. It's 3 is the third in the trilogy. It's the last one that they're going to make in this sort of like what do they call it? The World of Assassination trilogy. They'll probably make more, but it might be different or whatever it is. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's some of the best levels in the game are in this one, like Dartmoor, where I played a private investigator. Berlin, where I was at like a rave. So that was a good one. There's so many good ones, to be fair. And yeah, now we will go on to like at some point we will start up the Hitman randomizer, where I randomize what level we play, and then what weapon we use to assassinate them with, what outfit we've got to wear. Yeah, we will fire it up at some point in the near future. It's something fun that I'm working on. So yeah, Hitman. It's just Hitman. It's very good. It's very good. What else have I played? I've played a bit more Monster Hunter Rise this past week. I've not played tons of it, but I've played some multiplayer now. And my word, does that feel one-sided when you have like 4 people fighting relatively low-level creatures, because I'm a low-level person, and the people creep. I think I was like Hunter rank 1, and one of the people came in at Hunter rank 7. I think it was 7, 5, and 3. The other people in my party, and it just felt a bit mean at one point. It felt a bit cruel that we just rocking up to these monsters and just giving them a good hiding. Absolutely.
Yeah, what have they ever done to you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, if I get in the face, they'll attack me. So I mean, it's attack or be attacked sort of thing. But it just felt so one-sided because we just rock up to it and just start beating the hell out of it, and it's like 4 of us just giving it all a good hiding. And I was like, this feels so one-sided compared to what I'm used to, where I spend like 15 minutes fighting a monster on my own. It's like 5 minutes, maybe if that, to beat these monsters down. I did like 5 or 6 quests with them. And yeah, it's a fun game to play. I mean, I imagine because we're doing Hunter rank 1 levels, because they all jumped into my level, because I couldn't handle any of their quests, so they all jumped into mine. So yeah, I imagine going higher level, that's where the challenge is to be had. To be fair, yeah, so far still enjoying it. Just enjoyed. Like I played that last weekend, I think, and then other than that, this week I've just been playing like some of the like sub quests, doing little odd jobs around the areas that you go to, just like collecting plants or collecting like low level creatures or anything like that. It's just a nice fun little game to be pottering about in at times, riding around on my doggo. It's good. And the last game I've played, I've played a game that people have compared to Animal Crossing, and I can see that. A game called Cozy Grove. and it's similar in the sense of you get stranded on an island kind of thing, and it's all real time timers, like day and night timers that work with your actual clock on your computer or your Switch or whatever it is. And you land on this island, and it's inhabited by ghosts. They are ghost bears, and that in that sense, it reminds me of Spiritfarer, where you had you help people on like ghosts who, I think Spiritfarer is like ghosts that are people in your world who have died, and they like represent themselves as animals in that one. But these are just literal bears or something like that, and they want you to do tasks for them, such as whatever it is, find whatever it is, and then find a certain number of these, let's say feathers. I'll come back to feathers shortly. But say it's feathers, and they give you that, and then they kind of like the world kind of colours, and they become kind of like more real, so to speak. They normally at first they're just like a shadowy kind of figure, and then they become more real, like more like the characteristics of the character becomes more apparent. And you're doing all this initially because you initially turn up there, and there is a fire that talks to you, and the fire just wants logs. And these ghosts will give you logs for completing their quests. So every time you get more logs, more ghosts appear on the island because the logs can sense the ghosts or something like that. Anyway, it's a really nice, cutesy little game. Like the calmest, zenist soundtrack. I mean, I could fall asleep if I just left this game on. I would fall asleep. It's so easy to fall asleep to this music. It's so nice and calm. Oh yeah, and so the more you play it, the more characters turn up, the more quests that turn up, and then at a certain point, it kind of goes, okay, there's nothing really much else going on today. Maybe you should just come back tomorrow. Like something like Animal Crossing, where you eventually just kind of run out of stuff to do because it takes in-game time, real in-game time to do stuff. So yeah, it's like that. But one of the challenges I had was find these 5 feathers so you can make a duffel coat for this one of these ghosts, because you can make a downed. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I spent, I reckon, close to 45 minutes trying to find these feathers. It's not that big an island. It is not that big of an island. I had multiple people on YouTube videos and guides showing me where the feathers were. I then realised at some point that these feathers are kind of like randomly dropped on the island, because I went to go and watch the same video that they were all watching, and I couldn't. They're not in the same places, these feathers, which makes no sense as to how a guide would tell you where the feathers were, because they weren't in the same place. I eventually found it, and it was hidden behind the fire. The fire is like a campfire in the middle of your island, sort of thing. And you couldn't see, there was a feather behind it, like, so you couldn't see it. You can't turn the cam ranks, similar to Animal Crossing. So the feather is just perched behind the feather, and I think I had to find. Here's the thing: there is one of the ghost bears will offer tips to help you complete an objective, but it costs 100 coins, and I refuse to pay 100 coins to do it. Especially when there's multiple people showing me out where they are in my chat. I was like, I'm not paying the coins. But after 45 minutes of me trying to find this feather, I was like, right, just have the money, I don't care. And it was just below me, like, hidden behind the fire. But I wouldn't have seen that in any way, shape, or form. There's no way on earth I could have found that, because it was just invisible to me. You wouldn't even think to look there, because it's behind the fire. You couldn't see it. But like I say, I paid him the coins, and it just pointed an arrow. Went, there you go, mate. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. I got up and walked away for a minute or so. I was that annoyed. But it's a very nice, calming game. Like I say, I've not had much of a chance to go back to it. I've checked in one of the other days, and I was like, okay, we've got some more challenges to do and more tasks that need doing and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a very nice, casual little game. If you liked Animal Crossing and like the idea of Spiritfarer, for me it feels a bit like that. It has an art aesthetic to a little bit like a more friendly, cheerier Don't Starve.
Should have led with that, and I'd have been all over it.
Why?
I like Don't Starve.
It's not. It doesn't play like Don't Starve. It just looks a little bit like Don't Starve, but it's like Don't Starve is a very dark and kind of like eerie kind of game. This is much more friendly, and yeah, it's much more of a warm aesthetic than it is like the creepy one that Don't Starve is. But yeah, it's a very, very, very cool little game, and I think it was a tenner. I think I got it on Switch on PC, and it's probably on a few different things. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I've played anything else. I've played Fortnite again. Played bits and pieces of Fortnite. I've been doing I've been doing solos. I've been playing solos. It's crazy for me. I don't play solos, but I've just been popping on just to do the daily challenges, because there's 3 daily challenges every single day, and they're worth 22,000 XP each time. So when the chap who I've normally played duos with isn't around, I just kind of I'll just go do the dailies, and I'll just finish there. And I feel like the chap I play with is bringing me up multiple levels, because I came second in a lot of the games, and I think I'm playing and I'm getting significant kills and stuff like that, and I'm doing the work. But I feel like when I play on my own, I go around into the really like rubbish leagues where half of the players are bots. I feel, because I do really well on my own. I'm like, wow, I'm really, really impressed with how well I'm doing. But yeah, I think I'm playing against bots mainly, and like until I get to like the top 3, and then I just kind of hide in a bush until there's one left, and then they just kind of blitz me. But yeah, Fortnite still continues to be fun. I think they released a Brie Larson pack this past, was it yesterday or the day before? So Brie Larson plays the game, and she has got a character pack where she has picked like what character skin that her favourite character skin, and you can buy all different ones and different emotes and different things. It's just weird. It's a weird game, Fortnite. It's
So they're not of
Yes,
her.
it
They're
is.
just of.
No. It's the character skin that her favourite character skin in the game. I think it's got its own personalised colour. So it's the colours that she likes. It's an emote, a pickaxe, I think, and something else. I think it might be a skin for a weapon skin as well. All in the same colour scheme that she likes. And yeah, I mean, it seems weird really, because you think she is a Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, you think they could? Yeah, there's all sorts they could have done, but I get it. It makes sense. You can play like Brie now. You know, you can go on.
Yeah. There is. Yeah, exactly. And I imagine that does actual money for it, because up until now, these like kind of player packs like have kind of popped up, and they've kind of been like more well-known streamers that get these player packs. So for Brie Larson to get one is kind of huge, because like he's a massive celebrity and he plays the Fortnite. So yeah, it's Fortnite is Fortnite. It's a good old game, and I'll continue to play it because I'm working on that battle pass. I think I'm mid-50s now, 56. We're getting there.
You sound younger than that. You sound younger than that. It's just.
I know. Good for me age.
We'll wrap this up there then, boys and girls. If Pabby's done, we'll call this a little short one, a little quickie. After all, I am going to be sat in this chair for rather a long time tomorrow, so here's your next opportunity. Now you finish listening to the podcast, to head over to Twitch and get involved in seeing if I'm still awake, or whether I'm having a snack or not. I'll probably be having a snack. Got to go out and get snacks in the morning. Kev likes snacks. But we'll wrap this up there. If you want to find us on social media stuff, you can do that at MG UK Podcast, or you can follow me everywhere at Lelujo.
You can also follow me everywhere at Sheepdog 6K. 6K. I can't even say it. See, I'm not used to it. Sheepdog 6K. Because I realised, not to steal too much of the time here, that I have already got a Twitter account set up at Sheepdog 6K because I wanted to get a free sandwich out of Tesco's. So, Yeah,
So
follow
you're
me
now
there.
Sheepy2 Twitters. Is that what this
I am,
is?
well, mate. I'm Sheepy4 Twitters. I think. I've got my work one on there that I really need to remove because it kept giving me alerts the other day, and I replied going, "What's going on?" And I realised it was on my work account. Yeah, I've got Sheepdog 6K, RB 6K, and then the Mature Gamer one, and I think another one I can't remember now. But yeah, Sheepdog 6K. I'm going to try and slide everything there. So this is a test to see how many of you are leaping for your phones.
Also, it's going to be
avatar.
interesting to see which side of your personality is most popular. If Sheepdog becomes more popular than RB, is that going to be a crisis of confidence for you?
I mean, the risk, as we established pre-show, Sheepdog doesn't wear glasses, whereas RB does. And Sheepdog really should wear glasses, but Sheepdog doesn't have a prescription. So, yeah, I'm blind at the moment. But after the podcast and after I finish streaming and everything, I put my glasses back on and I go downstairs, and it's just nice being able to see again.
Excellent. Pab?
Yes, I'm at Pab1986 on Twitter and Twitch.
Splendid. Well, we shall see you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, folks.